Welcome to Great Talk and Entertainment. I'm your host, KJ, and this is the YouTube channel where I review movies and TV shows from all your favorite superheroes, including Marvel Comics, DC Comics, and much more. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talk and Entertainment official channel. Now let's go, baby. Welcome back, everyone, to the YouTube channel. And as I continue on for the Netflix series Bet, this is episode 2, spoiler review. So if you have not seen this amazing series, please check this out. But pause this, hit the thumbs up button, because that would definitely help this YouTube channel grow. Come back and let me know what you think about Netflix series Bet. Do you like it? Did you like this episode? Does it live up to the anime that's based off of? Let me know in the comments below. So again, this is episode 2, spoiler review. Y'all been warned. Now, let's get into it. This episode starts off with Suki making contact video, as Suki is a kind of like evil diabolical makeup contact videos, as Suki likes to report about what happens on campus, as Suki reports about what happened on the events with Mary and Yumiko, as Suki reveals Mary is on the 86 board, as we find it on her jacket later through this episode, which I thought was funny. And as that is revealed, Kira is definitely not happy about that at all, as she ranks up the board. Kira as Yumiko, who has the house to represent her, and Yumiko says that she hasn't decided yet, and after the fact, Kira offered her a spot, but she declines it, as someone like Michael thinks that's very clever. It's pretty much have the people fight against them, stand up against them, all team up, destroy the empire of these like elite gamblers in this, as I think they're called the Black Jacket. And it's pretty clever, and that's what Yumiko's trying to do. And we know that Yumiko is probably going to create her own version of a house of this, or I believe she does pick a house. But Kira actually respects that, and she likes that. And later in the next scene, we see Kira wants Suki to play the game Icebreaker with Yumiko, and of course, Yumiko's going to accept it. Now, the name of this game is, you put this like a wristwatch on, and it's a heart rate monitor. It looks like a Fitbit type thing. And the name of this game is, each individual has to dig up some dirt on them and ask some questions. It's just a bunch of cards. You just flip a random card, and whatever the subject is, you use it, right? And if you go up to a high number, which I believe it's either 80 or up to 90, you kind of lose, right? And so you got to find personal stuff. Now, the one thing Yumiko's definitely worried about is the death of her parents, and the fact that they died in a exploded vehicle, which was pretty much a bomb in a car. The old classic gangster mobster thing, right? You're gonna get rid of somebody, you plant a bomb, and you turn the ignition to your vehicle, the car or truck or whatever you drive blows up. And so it's this kind of thing, and she needs that. And we see that she goes to Michael for help, and he does his best as he could to hide it. And they make up something, but they do their best, and I think Michael does succeeds in it to keep the dirt. But we know that when Yumiko goes back to sorry about that, she goes back to her dorm room with her roommate, as Blake explains that Suki came over to visit and gave Blake some free makeup products. And that's, scares her, because then we know Suki probably saw the photo of Yumiko's parents. And so Yukio's definitely freaking out, and that's why Michael's trying his best to do it, but he does succeed. As we see this like the game starts, and they come up with their past, and Yumiko's a little nervous. Yumiko shows a little fear, but when we see Michael show up, Yumiko gets a little bit more confident. Even during the time when Suki asked about Yumiko's parents and how they died, are they dead, and is it your fault? Just a little mind trick game. It's like a mind trick game. Like, you're gonna get in somebody's head. But Yumiko has some dirt on Suki, as we learn that Suki was into hunting animals, for game, for fun, like it is today's world. And Suki was using Suki's original name, and obviously Suki was just showing that Suki was stabbing a dead animal of a deer and showing blood. And so Suki thought he deleted that, but he lost control. And they betted that also in this, that Suki was going to lose some followers, because Mary in this scene, in this episode, I should say, took Yumiko's little gambling chip. That means a lot to her because it's very sentimental, because that's the thing that Yumiko's mother gave to Yumiko. And Suki was like, we can play it, but if I beat you, I get your nails. And what's really interesting is, and before I go any further, I don't care about gender swaps on characters very much. Like, I do and I don't. It depends on the character and what the context is. But for me, in this situation, I know in the anime, in the Kanguru, is a woman who's obsessed with collecting nails. And so I just noticed that this character Suki is probably a mixture of different other anime characters within that show. And I think the showrunners, the screenwriters, just kind of took the best quality out of each different individual characters and made this one, right? And it's totally fine, because Bet is more of like modern. Like, it has what we do in today's society as far as with social media, the fashions, what the quote unquote the cool kids of this generation is wearing, how they identify themselves. They try to put it in. It's just one of those scenarios again where you take these fictional characters, and you say, okay, we're going to write a story about what would they do in today's world. How would they act? How would they live? What type of food would they like? Who would they hang out with? And trying to keep that anime feel to it, which I believe it does. That's why I'm saying I don't have a problem with it. And I actually enjoy watching Suki. I think it's a very cool villain-like character to watch. Very fun and entertaining to see. And to see Suki's plan and tactic to get somebody. And Suki's very good at gambling. Suki don't really lose. That's why Suki's in that group with Kira. So Suki's somebody you don't want to mess with, but if you do challenge Suki, you kind of want to bring your A game. And I think Yumiko did, as Yumiko won. And we also see in this episode, too, which I thought was very anime like. Suki's whole nails just cracked and like blood came out. Like what? But I thought that was pretty cool. And then also in this episode, we see that Ryan is being stalked by a mascot. And we don't know who's in this mascot outfit. And I think it's like a bear or a beaver. I think it looks like a beaver, but it's probably a bear. But I'm pretty sure it's a beaver. And it for some reason just wants to beat up Ryan. Ryan gave it a bag of chips, gambling chips, and ran away. And I just thought that was really cool, and I really liked that. And we also see like a cool moment between Mary and Yumiko. Yumiko's like, I would have bet that you would get back on that council, back in Kira's like good grace. It's you're very unique. Like Yumiko's showing kindness, but I think Yumiko is the type of gambler who likes to just bet on everything and understands that everybody has a different way of trying to win, whatever game they're playing. And, I think Yumiko respects the fact that Mary plays dirty. Mary is willing to step on fingers, toes, whatever to get to the top. But I think Yumiko and Mary actually respect each other. Obviously, Yumiko beat Mary, so Mary's really met her match or maybe her equal, and they don't want to say it very blunt like, but they hint to each other in a subliminal way of they do respect each other, but Yumiko is also letting her know that somebody like Mary, she would rather have an alliance with her. They kind of trust each other because they know how they play now, and they understand that the craziness, the confidence, they understand like they both don't hold back. They're very cutthroat like. And so they do have a common ground and something they can relate to. These are two girls who I like to win, like to be number one. And, I think even Mary has shown interest of defeating Kira one day and taking her spot. So I think Yumiko likes that idea that there's not just one person who wants to take Kira's spot, which is probably like the end goal of what they're trying to achieve, which most students are in this school. So I like that, and I think that's pretty a cool moment. Because at the end of this episode, after Kira kind of gets on Suki, they announce that Suki's dead. Suki's gone. And he passed away, I guess. And that's how that episode ends. So what I liked about this episode, which I thought was a cool ending, because you don't know if... I don't think Suki's dead. I don't think Suki's gone. Because I think when Kira said she has a soft spot for Suki, I think that Kira is pretty... I think Suki... Kira is hiding Suki, keeping everybody guessing, let it die down, because now people are thinking, man, there's hope, but her having somebody announce that Suki has passed away takes away the hope from other students, especially the ones who are pets. And I think that's what the idea. Yumiko gave everybody in that school hope. Kira just in her own way took away the hope from everybody, saying there is a chance and these top elite gamblers can be defeated, can be touched, and there's always a way to win. So I think I like that idea. It's like if this is like the Roman Empire, this is a big war. And I think that's just a plan of war plan. So I like that, and I'm cool with it. So this one to me was really good episode. And this one I like too because it really brought out the anime feel to it, because just them playing this like icebreaker game, I thought that was really cool, and it was very intense. You didn't know who to trust. Everybody played dirty. We saw that with Mary, and we saw that Yumiko was put to the test. Can she be broken? Can she break? Can she keep calm? Because we know Yumiko wants to get revenge for her parents, but Yumiko has to play all the games, not just on for chips, but just living in that school. She's got to bring it, right? So everybody was eyes on Yumiko, and she knew it. And I think that's the challenge. So her back's against the wall, realistically. And everybody just wants to see what's going to happen, obviously, and they're very interested that there's a change. There's a disruption in the system, and the people are kind of digging it. So I thought that was really cool and very fun to watch with that. So this one was a banger this was a banger episode, like really fun. I like the intense. I like the you didn't know if Yumiko was gonna win. You didn't know who was spying on her, who was gonna find dirt on her. And it was really interesting too that Ryan and Michael there's a love triangle, obviously, with the three. And probably four. I think Mary likes Yumiko like that too. But I think I like it because Ryan is the guy who wants to see her do what she's going to do, while Michael's kind of like he likes it, but he's more of like he wants to change her and make her a better person in his mind. So it's gonna be very interesting. But they both attractive, and they both these guys are willing to go above and beyond for Yumiko's approval or love, whatever you want to call it. But that's pretty cool too. So Yumiko in this, I thought the story of this plot for episode 2 really, really shined and highlighted and focused on mostly in the main characters, but mostly on Yumiko. And I just liked it. I thought it was really good on that part. That was a really good highlight, because you're not going to get lost, and you can kind of keep track with everybody, what's going on, and you don't know who's who, and you can't trust nobody. And I like this because there's a big mystery going on too within this school, within everybody, and it's pretty interesting about too. I noticed that every character we saw in this episode mentioned about their parents, and it seems like Kira, from Mary to Michael, they're all trying to impress, their parents, while, Kira's sister and Mary have some type of thing going on with each other too. I don't know if they're not allowed to date because maybe Kira might not approve, or maybe Kira and her sister's parents or father or whatever might not approve it. So it's very interesting what's that going on, but there's so much mystery going on there, and I thought that was pretty cool. And I can see that keeps the audience very interesting to keep watching all the episodes. So I think that's really good. So if I had to give this an episode a 1 out of 10, I'm definitely going to give it an 8. Really good, really solid. You know, the thing though, if I had to be a nitpicks one thing or find a negative thing that I didn't like about it, I would say I wish they went kind of dark and gritty a little bit more, like the anime show Kagegurui on the anime. Just like when they're playing that game, I wish they did her Yumiko's red eyes. You know, seeing where her eyes turn red, or if anybody's like explaining something, you know, they have a more serious, you know, diabolical look, like I'm crazy, and you know, shit's about to hit the fan, right? And that's what I kind of was hoping to see. That's my only complaint. If I had to really just nitpick about it, which I understand the diehard fans would want that, and I want that too in the sense, but I understand like maybe it just didn't fit right the way the showrunners did this show Bet. But that's my only complaint. But other than that, I still think it's still good. It's still, I know a lot of people say, well, it's not faithful to the anime of it, but I feel like it does in certain scenes and certain aspects of these particular characters. So I'm okay with it. But other than that, I liked it. I loved it. And I hope you guys loved it too. But that's my review, y'all. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Great Talking Entertainment official channel. Subscribe. Hit that notification button so you can always be updated with all my latest content. Thank you guys, and peace out.